My attitude is that you can't basically allow them to pour across the border and then say, oh, well, kept them from getting guns, so we're okay.
Hammond says others at the meeting had a different opinion.
Such as our attorney, Rob Olson, who are outraged that this judge is basically, quote, giving illegal aliens guns, close quote.
Hammond says illegals are the problem.
The people need to be kept out of this country rather than allowed into this country and thinking that somehow gun laws are going to save us.
I'm Chad, groaning.
Illinois is prepared to go over the cliff again in undermining parental rights.
A bill is under consideration that would allow children 12 years old and older to secretly apply for Medicaid to pay for family planning services. Ralph Rivera of Illinois Right to Life tells AFN that's not a shocker in light of the way parents are already treated.
In Illinois, minors can get birth control and things like that under a separate law, and that's been that way since the late 60s. And a minor who is pregnant can be considered an emancipated minor, and they could get other things.
Like an abortion. Under the current bill, a minor could get an abortion, transgender services, anything Medicaid offers, without the parents being informed or their consent obtained. Rivera says such bills will continue to be introduced and sometimes passed unless residents of the state get into action.
We are in a state with a super minority in the pro-life, pro-family issues. And that has to change by going to vote. People in Illinois and, of course, for the people all over this nation.
That's the key to correcting a dysfunctional government or one that has lost touch with the views and concerns of voters. I'm Charlie Bucks.
For American Family News, I'm Rusty P.
Well, good evening, everyone, wherever you are. You're listening to a live edition of on First Amendment Radio of Nick at Night, and I am Nicholas, and it is a Saturday night, and I am live, so looking for anyone to join the broadcast, come in the chat room. Join the conversation, comments, questions, whatever, suggestions, whatever we can talk about. Got some news items lined up. I'm going to sit here and look at the news and current events and see what's going on out there. So I guess I'll first of all start off with Babylon Bee, just to warm things up as I wait for people to come over to the room. I sent out a notification about a half hour ago, so hopefully some people will show up. And I know there are a few people I can see are watching and on Rumble right now and other channels. It's hard to watch them all and keep an eye on them all. Let's see, where am I looking for? Here we go. The Babylon Bee. Yes, indeed. Let's see what they have for us. Start at the top here and see what they have. Babylon Bee Guide to being the church sound guy. The church sound guy. Yeah, that's what we have now. Depending on the church, Yes, it could be a huge job. Well, let's take a look at it. I'm sure we can all sympathize or, yeah, anyway. Few jobs are as specialized and challenging as that of the church sound guy. Performing in such a pivotal role requires tremendous skill and is not for the faint of heart. Are you embarking on the wild and unpredictable journey of running sound at your church? Read more, it says. Yes, indeed. The Babylon Bee has compiled the following helpful guide to serving as a church sound guy. So, if you can hear the bass player, decrease his volume. Better yet, just never turn it up in the first place. I guess if you were a sound guy, you would maybe make sense out of this. If something goes wrong, you just start turning random knobs and pushing buttons. It's kind of like me here producing my own program. And pushing buttons. You may have no clue about how to fix it, but you'll eventually hit the right button. There you go. That's for the guy who's sitting in for the sound guy and really doesn't have a clue as to what's going on. Let's see. During the sound check, give the background singers a thumb up as you slowly turn their dial down to an inaudible level. Nobody wants to hear them. Okay. And let's see. Put up the lyrics for the next verse when it's halfway over. Yeah, everybody loves that when that happens, right? Yeah. Time to see who the true Christians are who know the words. Yeah. Even when we know the words, sometimes we're just, we're just following the program. Yes, I remember when our words were on a sheet of paper. Yeah, I miss those days. Or in the book. Imagine that. Yeah, on a sheet of paper or in the book. Mm-hmm. Okay, when the pastor says, do we have that video clip ready? Let him hang out to dry for a good 45 awkward seconds. Let him know who's really in charge. Oh, that's funny too. Yeah. Important. Remember to switch your Spotify from your secular heavy metal playlist to your church playlist. The congregation may not be ready for Master of Puppets during communion. Because I don't know what Master of Puppets are, but I guess that's heavy metal. So, something like that. Okay. When they ask for more of themselves in the monitor, change nothing. And just keep asking, is that good? Don't worry, they won't know the difference. Yeah. And be ready with the mute button in case a female tries to start preaching. Quiet, women. There you go, the mute button, just in case. Memorize that list and you'll be well on your way to becoming an expert church sound guy. Anyway, I think it's funny. Good to see you there, Shauna, and genetic modification. He says, I have arrived. Yeah, well, that's the announcement we were waiting for. And we got Stephen over there and you in the chat room. Simon Steen, Stephen in a while, is that leftover from the previous program, or is Stephen? No, I think Stephen said he can't stay up this late because he works hard. Yeah, Stephen, I know, keeps sheep. He's a sheep herder in Colorado. That's right. I said it right, Colorado. Yeah, just like they say it in the state. As Californians and others say Colorado. That's right. Okay, let's see what else we got from the Babylon Bee. Planet Fitness, Best Gym 2024, National Association of Perverts. Who else is going to give them? Yeah. A Planet Fitness rated best gym in America. Yes, by the National Association of Perverts. Continuing, the Patriot Post. We'll go down here. 9 ways to outfox squatters living on your property. I could have used this list about 15 years ago. Because I tried to outfox those squatters, but man, nothing worked. Yes, can't even imagine what that's like until you go through it. Yeah. Let's check out the list, just in case somebody needs some guidance out there. The Babylon Bee to the rescue. Okay, let's see. As you may have seen this in the news recently, and hopefully I hope to see some legislation upgrades coming, because the laws have been horrible for quite a while with squatters' rights and tenants' rights. There needs to be a real reform in tenant, landlord, and property rights laws. So hopefully that'll be an outcome of what's going on now, rather than the trend towards communism and losing all of our property rights. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. Okay. Let's see. As you may have seen, there are some states that actually have laws that make it illegal for you to attempt to evict squatters living in your home. No one wants to run afoul of the law, so it's worth considering what you can do in the event that you find people living in your house without your permission. A Babylon Bee is here to provide the following list of ways you can handle squatters. 1. Give them MAGA hats and call the police. Whoa, good one. You give them MAGA materials. Let's see, pocket constitutions, and pepper their belongings with that, and and with MAGA paraphernalia, and then call the police on them. You're likely, depending on what your state you're in, you're likely to get them out. Let's see. Number 2, cancel all streaming services except for Paramount Plus. With nothing good to watch, they'll leave on their own. Yeah, you wish. They all got streaming on their stupid phones, so they don't really need your streaming service. But you can't cut off the electricity. What can you do? Yes, you'll be amazed at how quickly the authorities come rushing in to drag these dangerous insurrectionists to prisons. That's if you give them MAGA hats and call the police. Number 3, sit them down and read them John Locke's philosophical case for lawful property ownership. Even squatters can listen to a sound, reasonable argument. Play gospel music, sing gospel music, read the Bible out loud. If they're going to be in your house, you can at least, be fishers of men, women, whatever they are. Yeah. So, either that or cast the demons out of them. Oh, I'm coming up with my own. Sorry. Cast the demons out of them in the name of Jesus. There you go. If you can't cast them out of your house, cast the demons out of them, and perhaps they'll leave on their own. What do you think? Yeah, it is horrible. I agree. Number 4, put on a sheet at night and make ghost sounds to make the house seem haunted. Squatters hate ghosts. Number 5, refuse to do the dishes even though the squatters have done them 8 days in a row and it's your turn. They'll eventually look for a more helpful property owner to squat with. 6, get word to Hillary Clinton that the squatters have dirt on her. People with dirt on Hillary tend to disappear, just like magic. Yeah. Replace all of the Coca-Cola in the fridge with Faygo. Gross. Faygo? Guess I don't know what Faygo is. I guess that's a generic cola or something. I'm guessing. Okay, number 8. Pay Don Lemon $5 per day to come to your house and deliver nonstop news commentary with a megaphone. He's probably looking for another job by now. Number 9. Burn down your house. No house, no squatters. Problem solved. Yes. Yes, burn down your house, but don't get caught. Yes. Fake an electrical problem. Okay, even if none of the tactics listed above work, don't worry. We're sure the legal system will work this out for you eventually. Yeah. Yeah, it is a very sad thing that's going on in America. Shauna says her mother-in-law had squatters and it caused her to lose her house, lose her home. It was awful. Yeah, it is horrible. As they can really do a lot of damage to a house. These people are very, very wicked. That's why I say, just try casting the demons out of them. You know, if they're Catholic, call a priest to cast the demons out of them. Not if you're Catholic, of course. You can pretty much handle it on your own. Or go down to your local Pentecostal church where they do a lot of casting out of demons. And get a group of them to come over to cast the demons out of your house, out of the people living there first. And like I said, perhaps they'll leave on their own. Yeah. When the demons are out, maybe they'll hear the gospel. Who knows? Or maybe they'll just all run down a hill into the nearby lake and drown. You know? So you never know what's going to happen when you cast demons out. Yeah. Inhabit a herd of swine and run into the nearby sea. There you go. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Okay. Okay, well, nobody else coming into the chat room. Looks like genetic modification and Shauna and I are it. I'm not in the other chat rooms. You know, I'm watching the Rumble chat room, the YouTube chat room, and the First Amendment Radio chat room. So if you're in another chat room, come on over to First Amendment Radio chat room or Rumble. Yeah, I prefer Rumble over YouTube since they keep deleting videos and giving me strikes. I'm not sure how long I'll be there. I'm just amazed that I'm there so long. Maybe they're afraid to actually get rid of me, but they've shadow banned me to death. So, but I guess maybe with a name like First Amendment Radio, they might think twice about. I have no idea, because it's ridiculous. Because I have 2 channels on the Prophecy Reality channel. They remove a 2-year-old video and give me a strike. On my First Amendment Radio channel, they've removed probably 100 videos in the last 2 or 3 years, but said, "Oh, you probably didn't know that you were violating our rules, so we're not giving you a strike." Seriously, that's what they've been doing on the First Amendment Radio channel. But the Prophecy Reality channel, strike, 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 strike. First Amendment Radio channel, they just delete the video and say, "Aw, too bad. You likely didn't know that you were violating. You didn't know that video. Yeah. So we're not going to give you a strike." That's the way it works. So anyway, 9 ways to outfox squatters living on your property. But I think really casting out the demons thing, you know, that might do it, because, you know, these people are at least driven by demons. If they're not infested with demons, and if the demons leave, they might get scared. Yeah. And they might leave themselves. So yes, we could start having exorcism. We could have house exorcisms. Cast out the demons. Yeah, I think, you know, the church ought to offer this service. There you go. Something to think about. I believe casting out of demons is a real thing. And as people start exhibiting demonic activity, which likely they will do, because they're at least under demon control, if not possessed. Let's see. Woman unable to distinguish between basketball and hockey About to smoke your March Madness bracket again. Okay, see, sport things just totally lose me. I don't get it. I don't know who those people are. I do know the difference between basketball and hockey. I played both basketball and hockey. So it was a great pastime in Michigan where I grew up near a lake. We go out there with our hockey sticks and our puck and our snow shovels, and we just shovel a rink out of the lake and start playing. That's true. Of course, the ice had to be thick enough, but it always got there. Yes, every winter. So I know about hockey. Of course, I don't think I could play hockey today. I don't think my knees would stand up to the rigorous hockey playing, or basketball for that matter. Yeah. Moving on here. Let's see. National Guardsmen being trampled by migrants. Glad to hear we're not being invaded. Well, looks like an invasion to me, fellas. Yeah. It's actually the definition of an invasion. What do you guys think? Moving on. Woman who calls herself an influencer has literally never influenced anyone to do anything ever. There you go. Influencers. Be careful. You don't want to be responsible for somebody else's soul. Unless you're doing something good, like for the kingdom of God. I wouldn't want to influence anyone for evil. Continuing here, let's see. Shrek prosecuted for trying to remove squatters from swamp. There you go. Man. Okay, Explore Flicks advertisement. That's all we have from the Babylon Bee this evening. And let's see, I did have something I saw on X. And let me go to, oh yes, I did see this one here. Tonight, every single Democrat voted against my amendment. This is from Senator Bill Hagerty. Tonight, every single Senate Democrat voted against my amendment that would stop Biden administration from using taxpayer dollars to charter flights for hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens from their countries directly to American towns to be resettled. That's the new thing. Why bother with the border? It's already overrun and they can't keep up with it. So now they're recruiting people in their native countries and sending them flights from their native country to whatever city they want to go to in America. I'm sure they have like a list of half a dozen different destinations. And 220,000 flights so far has been estimated. Crazy, unbelievable. And these people are coming to squat in your house or on your property if they can. You won't be able to leave your home. You better, if you go on a vacation, you better make sure that you have, because the law is not even on your side anymore. Yes, we have been infiltrated. Okay, let's see. What else? Okay, I'm not going to. Who do you believe is responsible for the terrorist attack in Moscow? I'm not paying any attention to that. It's really, let Russia deal with that. It's really none of my business. There's enough going on in America that I don't need a sideshow. So let me look at my own profile. There were some things that I reposted. Oh, this one here. If you would like to see Republican Congressman Speaker Mike Johnson gone, kindly like this post. I didn't just like it. I reposted it. I guess I should like it too. So now I'm going to like it too, okay? Because you know what? The guy may be a genuine Christian, but the problem is that he is so deluded by Zionist, counter-Reformation eschatology, which is Zionist, another program brought to you by the Antichrist, Zionism, that he is willing to sell out everything just to give money to Israel. That's it. That's what it's all about. Good to see you, Mike, over there in the chat room. Thank you for joining us. And, okay, so that was Simon Atiba. He's the black man that the what do you call it? The Biden administration hates. He's a, let's see, tell us who he is. Chief White House correspondent at News Today Africa in Washington. Yes, so yes, they don't like to answer his questions because they are embarrassing. Because the truth is so embarrassing. Isn't that amazing? And I thought Joe Biden liked black people. Come on, Joe. Come on, guys. Anyway, I heard my tone there, and we'll look at some more items when we get back from this break. Comments, questions, suggestions for guests or whatever. I'm open, and you're in the chat room, or if you're not, you can jump in and join us. Anyway, I'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Secrets of the Rapture. Is there a 500-year-old conspiracy? A propaganda machine so pervasive and entrenched, yet so elusive that the entire world could be taken in by it, working in plain sight, but unseen by the world for what it truly is? If prophecy is God-given history in advance, why does the prophecy that has conquered the age also exclude nearly 2,000 years of history? What is it that they are afraid that the light of history will reveal? To understand our place in time and prophecy, we must look in history for an interpretation, that which stands the test of time, that which agrees with the Word of God, and history has proven to be true. When cunning fables and fearful speculations are removed from our sight, then we may clearly see what is truly expressed in Bible prophecy, both that which has been fulfilled and that which has yet to come. God's express word is the sword that must be wielded to remove the scales from the eyes and dispel the darkness of deceitful conjecture. Secrets of the Rapture was written to expose that which the spirit of the age has conjured out of the darkness to blind the eyes of the church in the world today. Secrets of the Rapture, Deconstructing Pre-Tribulation Dispensational Futurism by yours truly, Nicholas Arthur, is now available at lulu.com and Amazon. Secrets of the Rapture.
The program you are listening to is 100% sponsored by you, the listener, on this First Amendment Rights Media channel. You will notice that there are few commercials on this radio network. There's a good reason for that. Corporate advertising dollars come with strings that limit program content. So without your help, these programs cannot continue on internet or our several affiliates. If you benefit by the educational law programs, we ask you to give. If you are admonished or nurtured by the Bible and ministry programs, we ask you to give. If some voice a cause that you are passionate about, we ask you to give. If you believe in any of these, we ask you to support them as you would a missionary on a continual basis, as if giving a tithe for missionary radio. These programs are not commercially viable and must be supported by those faithful to the cause of truth. Look for the button to sponsor your favorite programs at our listen and schedule pages on the internet. We're asking you to give much less than a tithe, so that you may also send support directly to a particular program host, cause, and anywhere else the Spirit may lead you. Do all to the glory of our God and Creator, for His holy nation, the only kingdom that will last forever. Thank you for listening.
All right, I am back, and we are talking about Speaker Mike Johnson being so deluded with false prophecy that he's selling his soul to fund Israel and selling us out too. He signed a bill that should not have been signed. They should have allowed the government to shut down than to pass any bill, because we have things like, Joe Biden spending billions of dollars flying people into the country as well as bringing them across the border. It is just crazy. Yeah, crazy. See. Yes, Mick says, winds are getting strong down here. Yeah, we got rain coming in here too, and I guess we're up north of you. Yeah, it's not pouring yet, but it was pouring last night, and supposed to get a little more rain tonight, but we'll see what happens. Also, this shows you what was in this omnibus bill that they passed, but nobody read, 2,000 pages. Yeah, thanks for that. It's like going back to Nancy Pelosi when she was Speaker of the House. Oh, we don't need to read it. You have to pass it to find out what's in it. That's what she said, right? And they kind of just did the same thing. Gun Owners America says in less than 48 hours, House of Representatives passed a bill with over $25 million for gun control. Well, let's see what this guy has to say. Let me turn on the sound and play this for you.
Congress is up to something sneaky when they do anything, it turns out. But releasing a must-pass funding bill at 2:30 a.m. must be super sneaky. But not to worry. GOA's federal lobbyist team is here to break down exactly what's going on in this bill and how it affects your gun rights. Hi, I'm Ben, and you're watching the Minuteman Moment. Before we get into the video, please take a second to like, comment, and subscribe to help us fight against YouTube's algorithm. So, Congress decided to release a must-pass funding bill at 2:30 in the morning. Since then, the federal affairs team at GOA has been combing over this 1,000-plus page bill and hundreds of pages of accompanying reports to find all the gun control that's been hidden inside.
What's the pushback on the 72-hour rule? You said we're going to get this done by Friday night. That would mean violating the 72 hours.
There's nothing sacred about 72 hours. The idea is you want to allow the legislation to be reviewed adequately by the members before they vote on it. We're trying to maintain it even in a time crunch.
So lawmakers are racing through more than 1,000 pages of the $1.2 trillion bill. Some conservatives are exasperated with Johnson for agreeing to the plan with Democrats.
Now, as we mentioned in one of our more recent videos, the CDC and NIH should be prohibited from funding any studies that promote gun control. Of course, this bill adds $12.5 million for the same firearm mortality and injury prevention research at CDC and another $12.5 million at NIH. That's a grand total of $25 million to fund stuff like last year's studies on a firearm retirement age for seniors, safety checks, invasions of privacy to look for guns in pregnant women's homes.
Yeah, don't you just want to borrow $25 million to give away to the CDC and the UN? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We should do that. How much more money can we borrow and give away for things that we don't want?
Studying how effective gun confiscations are, here's a hint, they aren't. Studies on mandatory waiting periods, expanded background checks, and so much more. Now, GOA and our allies fought against this funding, but the swamp didn't listen.
You can't defend America's Second Amendment liberties and then fund gun control by the CDC.
But don't worry, it gets even better. Senator Blumenthal managed to get $59,000 for an anti-gun lobby that promotes mandatory unsafe storage laws and lobbies to pass them nationwide. This organization wants to ban quick access to your firearms in a self-defense situation and wants the Attorney General to have the power to confiscate your guns if they don't live up to the fairy tale standards where crime and home invaders don't exist. This $59,000 for firearms safety curriculum to middle school and high schoolers will no doubt be used to push anti-gun propaganda at public schools and misinform these kids on the Second Amendment. Any way you slice it, funding the gun control lobby is totally unacceptable. The bill also failed to defund several past gun control fundings. While we won a big victory last week stopping the VA from putting veterans on the prohibited persons list, this week Congress kept the funding for the Department of Health and Human Services to work with the VA to make gun storage maps of veterans' homes, where they can force unsafe storage and use red flag gun confiscation laws. Man, it seems like our veterans just can't catch a break. Here's also a bit of hypocrisy in this bill. While funding anti-gun studies and groups, Congress also wants to increase the amount of private security they get. They're so scared of violent crime in D.C. that they're increasing their security detail in the National Capital Region, while D.C. has some of the strictest gun control in the nation. Here's a win-win situation for the American people. Why don't members of Congress exercise their Second Amendment rights to carry a firearm? Not only would this save the taxpayers the cost of all those extra private security officers, but also, maybe these elected officials would finally find an appreciation for the Second Amendment. But we know that will never happen, because that would require these members to learn about the Constitution. Imagine the horror. And for those of you worried about how the Biden administration has weaponized the government against so-called extremists for owning a Gadsden flag or enjoying the Second Amendment, don't fret. They're coming out the gate swinging by, they're just writing some reports and asking the same bureaucrats who made these anti-American documents to brief Congress. I love it when the accused get a chance to investigate themselves and say they did nothing wrong. So for your convenience, we're naming and shaming all the loser Republicans who just sold out your Second Amendment and wasted your tax dollars on this garbage. If you pause the screen, you can see the senators who voted for this. And here are the Republicans responsible too. Now, if your representative didn't vote for this monstrosity, give them a call at 202-224-3121 and thank them for being the constitutional patriot they are. But for all of you with Democrat senators or representatives, or if you're represented by a Republican who voted for this anti-gun spending bill, give them a call and give them a piece of your mind. Thanks for watching and for being a gun rights activist who helps GOA hold Congress accountable. You know Congress is...
Oops, there we go. Yeah, turn that sound off before I forget. Oh, see, we got Terry in the chat room. Thanks for joining us, Terry. It's nice to see more warm bodies. Okay, that was Gun Owners of America. That was in the bill. $25 million to and more to anti-Second Amendment money being spent. Given to the CDC? Really? What, they run out of drugs to put on us and shots to shoot at us? Yeah. Indeed. So let's see if I reposted anything else that was the migrants. Okay, this is the same number as last night. And sorry I have to decline that call because I can't take calls at my text number. The text number right there. But you can text me, so please text me. I'm going to try to get that fixed so I can take calls at that number, but that time has not arrived yet. So that was my, that looked like the same number that I missed from last night. So it might be our phantom caller. Oh, here he comes on the other line. Okay, we'll try it. And probably, we'll see. Your name and where you're calling from? Please say something. Yeah, can you imagine that? Yeah. Someone, yeah. We'll talk later. Crazy, huh? So anyway, Kevin Sorbo, I reposted this from him. Where are the women and children? Men don't flee countries and leave their families behind. They leave their families behind to go to war. That's a very astute observation there. So this is just some of the news that I picked up on. This is the one, yes, it already said tonight every single Democrat voted against my amendment to stop the Biden administration from using taxpayer dollars. But where does the Biden administration get the right to use the money in the first place? When was it allotted? When was it put in the budget? Who's in charge of the purse strings here? How did he get this right? He does not have the right to spend money on anything that does not pass both houses of legislature first. Really, seriously. So they could put an end, well, maybe they can't because they don't have the votes in both houses to put an end to it. So it may have been something that they passed or some legislation that he's using from when they did have control, or whenever Kevin McCartney, or maybe it's something in the omnibus bill that they just passed that's allowing it to continue. Yeah, crazy. It's the only power they have, and they will not use it, and that is to shut the government down. Yes. This also, they can send money to the Ukraine. I mean, to Israel. They're going to send it now to the Ukraine, too. Yes, indeed. Will it ever change? We shall see. Let's see what else I've got here in my... let's see, we got not the bee. Oh. Pouring. Okay, just checking the chat rooms here. No comments or questions. Just a phantom caller. That's right. So anyone can text me at any time. The number's here. I will not answer that number if you call it. Not until I get it hooked up. And then if you call in and you don't say anything, I will just block your number. I can't do that on my old phone system, so that's why I want to get it up there and running. But I got really busy today and forgot all about that little problem. It's hard to take care of things when there's plenty of other things to take care of. That's right. Okay, well, not the bee. They have some news item. Now that it's finally come out, that Princess Kate has cancer, and I'm not going to watch her announcement. Yeah, it's sad when anybody gets cancer and has to deal with the allopathic, especially, if you're high up in government or you have medical plan or something. You're not going to immediately go to alternate medicine to see if you can figure out why you have cancer so that you can starve the cancer and maybe it will reverse the condition in your body, as any sane person would do, such as myself. But rather they run to the doctors that poisoned them. A course of preventative chemotherapy, it says down here in the bottom. So, yeah, they're immediately poisoning the cancer, but poisoning her at the same time, as if, oh, let's not figure out why she has cancer. Let's just kill it. Shoot chemotherapy at it. Well, yeah, that's what they do. Allopathic medicine. Oh, I might get a strike from. But if YouTube gives me a strike, then they'll give me a strike. Okay, Daily Wire parts ways with Candace Owens. Today, Daily Wire CEO Jeremy Boring, what a name, Boring, announced that the conservative news outlet has ended its relationship with Candace Owens. Huh, interesting. Well, yeah. Let's see, she's Catholic. The rest of them are Jews. Who knows? I'm sure that we'll hear more about it in the future. Okay, let's see. A message from... No, that's a message. Opinion. Thoughts on Candace... Oh, we're already hearing more. Thoughts on Candace Owens leaving Daily Wire and the growing obsession with the Jews. Oh, is she becoming obsessed with the Jews? We all know it. It was because of the Jewish stuff. Well, that would make sense if she's like calling out Zionism or something, the Jewish stuff. But I hope that she doesn't go all the way into, she needs to, well, her husband's part of the Antichrist, great apostasy, so, and she's supposedly Protestant, but if she doesn't have enough discernment to know who the Antichrist is and what his great apostasy is, she's likely, needs a further education, but will she get it? Yes. If you see her, tell her to listen. If you know her, tell her to listen to First Amendment Radio. Yeah, and to research the Antichrist in history, not in the future. You can't find anything in the future. It's not here yet. So, okay, update. 40 killed, over 100 wounded in Moscow terror attack. Well, that's sad. Terror attacks are bad. Do not like terror attacks anywhere, not in Moscow or in New York City or wherever. Yeah. Let's see. Once in a lifetime star explosion will light up the sky in the coming months. Lucky stargazers will soon get a treat not visible since our grandparents were teenagers. Oh, really? Yeah. Look, even the doc is there. His glasses on. Once in a lifetime star explosion will light up the sky in the coming months. Well, that ought to be something. I think I want to check that out a little bit and see what is going on. Okay, let's see. Lucky stargazer will soon get a treat not visible. The star system, located 3,000 light years away from Earth, is predicted to become visible to the unaided eye soon. This could be a once in a life. Come on, stop jumping around. This could be a once in a lifetime viewing opportunity, as the nova outburst only occurs about every 80 years. Well, I wouldn't have seen it yet. It happened 10 years before I was born. See, so T. Coronae Borealis, or TCRB, last exploded in 1946. So that was, well, and astronomers believe it will do so again between February and September 2024. Old men who saw the explosion in 46 now waiting for it again 8 decades later, like must be a Californian that wrote this. Let's see. Star system is normally far too dim to see in the unaided eye, NASA notes, but with the nova explosion, it would become about as bright as the North Star. Oh, well, this doesn't sound like much of a show. North Star is not that bright. Yeah, as a North Star, easily visible to the naked eye for several days. Well, nothing to really get excited about. And if you miss it, well, you could just look at the North Star and go, oh, that's what it looked like. It disappeared for a couple days. Yeah. Doesn't sound very exciting to me. So, anyway, that's that. Okay, here's a map of it for those who know their constellations. Yes. So, there it is. It's between Arcturus and Hercules, or Vega. Kind of, right between Arcturus and Vega. So keep your eye there as it appears for a couple days. There you go. Now, I don't know how they know it's going to come, but they must know something if you keep your eye there. Either that, it's now if you're a flat earther, it's probably a conspiracy theory. They're going to have a high altitude balloon that lights up for a couple days. Sorry, all you flat earthers out there, but how else do you explain it? There's got to be a conspiracy behind it. Yeah, it's likely is funded by Gates and that other crazy guy that's trying to destroy America and kill as many people as possible. There you go. Okay. I'm going to get some comments on that one in the chat room, I hope. Any flat earthers in the chat room? Well, explain this to me. Yes. And explain to me why all the other planets are spherical, including the moon. unless you really believe that the moon is a pancake. Yeah. And the other planets are pancakes plastered on a iron dome over the Earth or something like that. Crazy things I've heard. Yeah. Yes. And all the flat earthers, they really need to explain the Hovind theory to me, how that works. And is young Earth creationist. And you can look it up on YouTube, Hovind theory, and then the video will come up, I'm sure, somewhere. And anyway, let's see what else we got from from Not the Bee. Okay, this incentivized activism company is looking to hire 7-foot, 300-pound giants to attend protests. Okay, in search of adding the undeniable aura of intimidating to protests and rallies, a Beverly Hills-based company is currently scouting for giants. Oh. They just want the presence of giants, and they will pay you to be there. So if you're an enormous human being, there's a job waiting for you. All you have to do is show up and be large. And I guess if you're a little bit threatening looking, that might even be helpful. No gentle giants need not apply. The current thing. Anyway, moving on here. A bunch of people pointed lasers at an airplane during a fireworks show down in Mexico, and I'm just here for the comments. Yeah, I think they'd come and arrest you if you did that in America, wouldn't they? Well, they'd have to arrest a lot of people if it was if it looked like that picture. Apparently, maybe it did, or maybe that's just artwork, for all I know. So a funny little thing happened last weekend down in Toltepec, Mexico, at a fireworks festival. Okay, I'm not going to look into it. Watch this dude get escorted off an American Airlines flight in a headlock. Air travel is getting more and more fun these days, isn't it? Yes, indeed. Yes, I try to avoid air flight. Well, I did for a long time. I couldn't even get on a flight. Like I said, I applied for my passport, and I think it was in March 8th of 2018, and I finally got it last month. So how many years is that? That's 6+ years waiting for a passport. Oh yeah, I guess it's 6 years to the month. Says this is 2024. Yeah, 6 years. Took them 6 years to send me my passport. Yeah. Could you imagine that? Yeah, I was going to go on a trip, but needless to say, because it was out of the country, I didn't make the trip. Yeah. And sounds like my daughter's back. Oops, somebody stepped on a dog? Yes, indeed. Better make sure no squatters just entered my house. My daughter's in the house. She can probably hear me. I have a monitor over there. Okay. I think we talked about this the other night. The FDA agrees to remove social media posts and web pages which urged people not to take ivermectin to treat COVID. And here's one of the things that they put up when it was, I guess it was 2020. The FDA, this is an ad they actually put up. You can see it on my screen there, but not very well, I'm sure. But FDA says, "You are not a horse. You are not a cow. Seriously, y'all, stop it." Seriously, y'all? I mean, what do they think that just the southern people have horses? So y'all, stop taking horse medicine. Remember, when you were a horse, if you took ivermectin, remember when you were a horse, if you took ivermectin to treat COVID? Yeah. So anyway, yes, indeed. And what else? Gold crushes Bitcoin. Oh, okay. That's an ad. Nice looking add there. Okay, well, that's not the bee. Okay, let's see. Comments, questions, anything out there? Okay, we got someone in the chat room here says, and who is this? WW? I can hardly read it because it's black on black. Exploding stars just before the elections. Yeah, well, the exploding star is going to be as bright as the North Star. So, and it's only going to appear for 2 days. So not really, anything to get excited about. Nobody's going to, so I don't think that's going to interfere with the election at all. So nothing to get excited about. Now, Halley's Comet, now that's something we might want to see, okay? Yeah, or something like that. Or if the moon explodes, Okay, well, we have murdered an hour. And I've done it well with your help. So thank you very much. We're going to come back and see if we can kill it again. Comments, questions, suggestions. We'll find something interesting to talk about, I'm sure. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes.
The program you are listening to is 100% sponsored by you, the listener, on this First Amendment Rights Media channel. You will notice that there are few commercials on this radio network. There's a good reason for that. Corporate advertising dollars come with strings that limit program content. So without your help, these programs cannot continue on satellite, internet, or our several affiliates. If you benefit by the educational law programs, we ask you to give. If you are admonished or nurtured by the Bible and ministry programs, we ask you to give. If some voice a cause that you are passionate about, we ask you to give. If you believe in any of these, we ask you to support them as you would a missionary on a continual basis, as if giving a tithe for missionary radio. These programs are not commercially viable and must be supported by those faithful to the cause of truth. Look for the button to sponsor your favorite programs at our listen and schedule pages on the internet. We will also give you unlimited archive access to all of our programs. We're asking you to give much less than a tithe so that you may also send support directly to a particular program host, cause, and anywhere else the Spirit may lead you. Do all to the glory of our God and Creator, for His holy nation, the only kingdom that will last forever. Thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm Nicholas Arthur, and I'd like to introduce you to my latest book, Reformed Prophecy Interpretation, an apology for Reformed premillennial historicism in the 21st century. As with primitive biblical Christianity, historicism is the method of prophecy interpretation restored with the advent of the Protestant Reformation, and had become so widely held that for a long time it was called the Protestant view. My book is not so much about the errors of dispensationalism or amillennialism. Rather, it is about the historicist alternative to understanding many of the same passages from the vantage point of prophecy fulfilled in history. For those that desire more than mere hypotheses, bolstered with conjectured speculation, those who require explicit biblical exegesis and verified historical fulfillment, and are not willing to accept speculation as anything other than what it is. Speculation, not truth. This book is for you. Over the last century, this method of interpretation has become almost completely forgotten, even by Protestants, in the face of a method that is based almost entirely on future speculation, rather than fulfilled prophecy in history. In my book, I examine the reasons for this and investigate some of the prophecy which has been fulfilled in the interim. as well as present an apology for Reformed premillennial historicism to the 21st century. If you're interested in a copy of my book, you can go to my website, crosstheborder.org, and get more information there. Or you may also find it at Amazon. Okay, I am back. Let's see, what else? WW says they need an excuse to shut down the internet in September. It is looking like there was another prediction of commas or of comms disaster. Also September earlier this week, exploding stars. Yeah, they need an excuse to shut down the internet. You know, I don't know how that's going to work if they want us to have a digital economy and currency. I don't know how well shutting down the internet's going to work. But I can see them one day having an internet passport of a sort to get on the internet. They're going to want to know who you are and all that stuff. There will be no anonymity. They would like that. I mean, like in China, if you use a VPN or anything like that, it's against the law. Yeah, but here in America, we can use VPNs and be anonymous on the internet still. So I don't know. Hope that if that comes, then we'll know that that the Antichrist is in full charge. But I don't think he's ever going to get full charge over the world. I really don't even see it in Bible prophecy. A cohesive one world order. I see it divided, broken, divided iron and clay. They don't mix together, so it's never going to be quite as cohesive as he would like it to be. But the Antichrist does have all the money power. That much is without a doubt. But even, I believe that's even hard for him to control as much as he would like to. Because it seems that money kind of has a life of its own, too. And as I said, it's hard to control the world with corruption because you have to pay everyone off, and then everyone that's working for you is corrupt. So even the ones that's corrupting them can't rely on them because they are corrupt. Must be hard to have a corrupt new world order and be in charge of it. It's a difficult thing to, because it has a life of its own. Oh, let's see what else we have in the news here. Okay, well, this is not news. I don't know what this is here. Something from it redacted. Aid to Ukraine is a joke. He says every single dollar that goes to helping Ukraine in the form of a blank check is money that is going towards sustaining a system that Clinton, Obama, and Biden have destroyed. Yeah. So, anyway, let's see which one is that. I'm going to close that one up. See. We'll look at Lou Rockwell next, but I did want to see this. There was something. Trump and Biden not discussing the biggest issues. That's what Kennedy says. So what are the biggest issues that he's talking about that they're not? Yeah, that they're not discussing. Well, I guess that would be pretty easy to figure out. Should we try it? Yes, indeed. I guess we will. Your name and where you're calling from? Okay. Say hi to Red's Rider while she's home. I don't know what that means. Red's Rider? Does anybody know what that means? Okay, I have no idea what that means, WW. In the chat room there. Okay, yeah, I don't know what is Trump and Biden not talking about? Are not discussing the biggest issues. Should we bite? Do you guys want to hear this? I'm just hoping it's not a long, drawn-out thing. I would like to see a Babylon Bee list of 10 things, or maybe it's an article, or is it a video? I don't know. Okay, well, I guess I'll click on it and I'll see. It's a video, and let's see, how long is it? It's not going to tell me how long it is. Let's see. Okay, this is very short. Let's see what they have to say. Okay. Very short video. It looks like one of those really short ones. See, I have to turn on the sound so that you can hear it too. And then I have to turn the sound up so I can hear it.
People who like the president said that he brought his A game to a State of the Union address. You did not agree. You had said that it was a hyper-partisan speech. You're similarly not a huge fan of Donald Trump's, and it looks like those two guys are not keen on debating each other. It might happen, but it doesn't look like it will. What do you think of all of that?
Well, I think we're living at a time when the two least popular mainstream party candidates in the history of our country are running. Both of them would actually win the prize for the least popular candidate in the history of a major political party. 80% of the public says that they don't want a rematch. They want other choices. And, now it's a three-man race. And I would hope that both of these candidates will debate. And we should start talking about the issues that concern Americans, the chronic disease epidemic, the destruction of our soils, the forever wars.
You had a different vision for how you would see the State of the Union.
We published a simultaneous address, my own vision of what the State of the Union is. We're talking about the issues that the major political candidates are not talking about. The fact that we have a $34 trillion debt. In the last 100 days, the debt has gone up by another $1 trillion. That's unsustainable. We're already spending the equivalent to our entire defense budget just on servicing that debt, just on paying the interest of that debt. Within 5 years, half of every tax dollar collected will go towards servicing the debt, and within 10 years it could be every tax dollar collected. And nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about the chronic disease epidemic. When my uncle was president, Neil, 6% of Americans had chronic disease. Today 60% do. We have an entire generation that is now sick, the sickest generation in the sickest country in the history of the world, and nobody's talking about it.
Well, there you go. That's pretty monstrous to say 60% of the people have chronic disease in America, that we're the sickest nation on earth. He says, what will I do for black voters? Gonna cater to the blacks. And, but that's usual old-timey Democrat fare. Okay, well, let's see, what else do we have here? But that's the issues they're not talking about. I would like to see a three-way debate myself between the three candidates. What say you all that are listening to First Amendment Radio right now? Three-way debate between the three candidates? That would be fun for a change. And maybe they would have to really talk about the issues. Yes, of course, the border is one, but we already know what both of them are going to say about that. We already know what all of them are saying about the border, but we know what Joe Biden is doing now, flying people directly. The border is still flooded. People are coming faster and faster all the time because they see the border closing, but not fast enough for Joe Biden and the Biden administration. Yes, I said the Biden administration, because now they're flying people directly from their countries directly to America. Want to come to America? Free flight. And I don't know who's recruiting them, but there's people recruiting people in other countries to take free flights into America. It's a free-for-all. Give them free money, a $5,000 debit card so that they can set up house in America, or give them a listing of vacant houses to go move into. How about that? Yes, Kennedy said he wouldn't take our guns. So he said that that's not something that he is interested in doing. And I ran a thing on that. I posted that, I think, last year or sometime, where he said that he would not take our guns. Well, maybe he would like to, but yeah. But I don't know, he's somewhat buying into this climate thing. So, but that doesn't scare me so much as what Joe Biden is doing. Yeah. Because I think at least he would be, a moderate on that, at least somewhat moderated, where Joe Biden, there's no moderation whatsoever on anything that he's doing. It's all out, ruin the country and everything, the nation, as fast as they possibly can. At least with Kennedy or Trump in there, it's going to be slowed down a little bit. We can only hope. Yeah. And with the states and the people fighting back locally, because that's where it's got to go. That's where most of the work can be done, is on the local level, and on the states is where we need to start taking it back and getting these people and these prosecutors and judges out of office. Yeah, I said I posted it last year. Yeah, I posted something about Kennedy where he said he's not taking guns away. He's not interested in doing that. So that was last year. It's on my First Amendment Radio First Amendment Radio YouTube channel somewhere. You can find it there. And it's just a short video, like 5 or 6 minutes or something, where I quoted him. So anyway, that's that. So it's got to be Kennedy or Trump. It's really not much difference between the two, Seriously, Trump is really a Democrat. He's an old-time Democrat, really. And so is Kennedy. And your choice is between two old-time Democrats and one Marxist, progressive Marxist candidate who's totally set on, who's, a traitor to the country, taking money from China, yeah, and working for the Antichrist, definitely, and set on overseeing the destruction of America if he can do it. Not saying that America won't be, that the economy won't crash through one of these other guys, because who's really in control in the country? Yeah. And, how much judgment is America in for? It's coming either way. Because if bad people get into office and America is judged by that, it's judged for a reason. Because ultimately, God allows what he allows for the reason that he allows for it. So all we can do is pray, really. God, have mercy on us. Have mercy on your people in this country. And while we can't hold God's hand back from the judgment that he's going to execute, wherever he's executing it, we can rely on him to keep us, that all things will work together for good for those that love him and are called according to his purpose. That's us. We can have that much assurance. And whatever, even if we die, we're going to rise from the dead and join Christ when he returns. So our forever life will begin with our death, with our mortal death. So that's coming for each and every one of us anyway. So there you go. And do I have another break? Yeah, I have another break. I'll find that clip during the break. It should be easy to find on YouTube or on my website. I don't know if I left it on there or not, on my blog. So I'll look for it on YouTube and find it for you. There, www. Let's see. Okay, nobody else saying anything. I guess I'm going to have to find something else there. SMT. Shauna says amen to my prayer. So yes. have mercy for our sake on your land, on this land that we live in. I believe there's probably, likely, I know that most of the nation is not righteous. Maybe 20, maybe 30% of the people in America are Christians, are elect. Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea, but God does know. So, and he wouldn't. He said if you could find 10 in Sodom and Gomorrah, and if you could send, he would save it for the 10 righteous sake, but he couldn't find 10 people. God, got bargained down to 10. So per capita, I don't know what that amounts to. I know that Sodom and Gomorrah were supposed, from what I've heard, that they would have been in the millions at the time. So at least that's what I've heard. Not really sure about that, but going by that per capita, we're 300 million. So if Sodom and Gomorrah was 1 to 3 million people, so yeah, do the math. And I don't see the destruction of America in the Revelation either. So I do see America in the Revelation, but I don't see the destruction of it. Okay. But I do see the destruction of the beast power. The beast, what it represents, is going to be cast into the lake of fire with the false prophet when Jesus returns. Because guess who's going to be there? Jesus ruling the world from Jerusalem. So there's no room for the beast government over there. But America, on the other side of the world, well, the beast will be gone from America too, because the beast does rule. The Antichrist who rules the beast also rules in America through Washington, D.C. So everything that's connected with the beast government will be cast into the lake of fire for the millennial reign of Christ. So all of that will be gone. And his great apostasy will be gone. WW says, I still think Christ will be here in 26, 27, which means this will be the last presidential election. Yeah, well, I hate to tell you, but you're going on what? Yeah, what are you going on, WW? Yeah, I mean, I hope you're right, but I don't see it happening that quick at all, because there are several things that have to happen. Now, if those things could happen in the next year, the desolation of Mystery Babylon, because it's supposed to be done by the 10-horn beast power, which ends up in the lake of fire. So that has to happen before Christ returns. Check out the prophecy for yourself. That God puts it in their heart to raise her to the ground and burn her with fire, the harlot that rides the beast. So we're looking at the Vatican itself, and probably all of its tributaries all over the world are going to be caught up in that conflagration somehow. Okay, but it's going to be the 10-horn beast power that turns on her. But if the 10-horn beast power is thrown into the lake of fire when Christ returns, then so it has to happen before he returns. So there are several things that must happen. We also have the Kings of the East thing that's supposed to happen, and we can see that warming up right now with between Russia and China. Bringing punishment or judgment on Western Europe and all of the nations that sprang from her. So I'm thinking even America, South America, involved in some type of worldwide conflagration, maybe some nuclear hits on those countries, especially America and Canada, because we are the West, and we sprang primarily from Western Europe, the Americas, and so all the nations over here sprang primarily, even going down to South America, Latin America being Roman tributaries because Latin, of course, referring to those countries that conquered South America and Central America for the Vatican. That's why they're called Latin America. So any judgment that would be coming on Western Europe from the East, the kings of the East, would likely extend to the Americas too, at least. So it's kind of just trying to read the prophecy and there's possibilities there. So it's all hypothetical, but it's not hypothetical that those prophecies won't be fulfilled somehow, but it's hypothetical as to how they will be fulfilled. So, but we will know it when we see it, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And it's going to happen pretty fast, but I think we're going to be here for another 30 years approximately, from my best guesstimate, looking at the calendar from creation and seeing the beginning of the sixth, or the end of the sixth millennia and the beginning of the seventh millennia. I have it about 2055. I wish it was sooner because I'm an old man, I'm as old as that guy right there you're looking at his face, named Kennedy. We're the same age. Yeah. Yeah, he turned 70 in the last year, and so did I. So I think I'm actually older than him. There you go. There's that. Any more comments? Let me see. I have to highlight to see in the chat room. He is dark blue on purple. Search on archive.org, 1560 Geneva Bible. It's free. Well, I have the 1650 Geneva Bible commentary on my Bible. So if you can tell me where the notes are in the Bible, because the notes are attached to different books in the Bible. So if you can tell me which book has the notes that you're referring to, perhaps I can find it. Okay? Since you know the Geneva Bible very well, better than I do, but I was able to get the Geneva notes attached to my Bible, and the name of that Bible, I have it closed because I restarted my computer. So to my eSword. So that would be interesting to find out. Let's see. Wikipedia once mentioned over 30 different years for the year 6000, but the Geneva Bible one they never mentioned. I think I have to peek outside for a second. I'll be back in a minute. Don't go anywhere. Yeah. Okay, well, I could see nothing out there. All the sky's cleared up and the moon is out. It's almost a full moon out there. My dogs are barking probably at coyotes across the street. I think I reported to you the other night, one of my dogs got attacked by a coyote. He's recovering very well, so I can still hear his twin brother out there barking. So, but yeah, he's recovering very well, but he's still very, very sore. And anyway, so he's going to make it. Yay. Yes. Okay, let's see what else we got here. So anyway, if you can tell me what book those notes are attached to, I might be able to find them there at WW in the chat room. All right, so let's see what else we got here. But I do have, let's see, here it is here. Dictionaries. Oh, I thought I had it. Pretty sure I did. Dictionaries, commentaries. Oh, yes, I do. The Geneva commentaries. So there I have the Geneva notes, but they're attached to different books. So you have to tell me what book they're attached to for me to see the notes. Because they had the notes in the pages of the books of the Bible. So that would be interesting to find out what they're basing that on. But I think I did see those notes before. Download the PDF from archive or go to the last printed pages or view it online at archive. Last printed page and read. Okay, well, I'll check that out. So now I've got homework to do. So anyway, or you could read it. You could call me in and read it to me. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. Or you could, yes, you could copy it and text it to me. I don't know if you can do that or not. But anyway, I got a tone. We got another half hour, and I'm sure I have more stuff up here that we can talk about. Unless you have some comments or questions like WW did, but would like more information on that. But I'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
The program you are listening to is 100% sponsored by you, the listener, on this First Amendment Rights Media channel. You will notice that there are few commercials on this radio network. There's a good reason for that. Corporate advertising dollars come with strings that limit program content. So without your help, these programs cannot continue on satellite, internet, or our several affiliates. If you benefit by the educational law programs, we ask you to give. If you are admonished or nurtured by the Bible and ministry programs, we ask you to give. If some voice a cause that you are passionate about, we ask you to give. If you believe in any of these, we ask you to support them as you would a missionary on a continual basis, as if giving a tithe for missionary radio. These programs are not commercially viable and must be supported by those faithful to the cause of truth. Look for the button to sponsor your favorite programs at our listen and schedule pages on the internet. We will also give you unlimited archive access to all of our programs. We're asking you to give much less than a tithe so that you may also send support directly to a particular program host, cause, and anywhere else the Spirit may lead you. Do all to the glory of our God and Creator, for His holy nation, the only kingdom that will last forever. Thank you for listening.
Visit crosstheborder.org, C-R-O-S-S, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org. When it comes to prophecy today, much of the evangelical Christian world has their eyes on Israel, waiting and watching to see when the third temple will begin to be built. The plans are drawn. The Jewish people are eager. Most evangelical Christians today believe that the rapture will happen before the third temple is built. Hi, I'm Michael Eugene. I was taught that Daniel's 70th week was in the future. Is that really what the Bible teaches? Have we searched the scriptures and found this to be true? Why is it so important for a re-established Israel to build a third temple in Jerusalem? Is it necessary to build a temple on the same location already occupied by the Dome of the Rock? Is it necessary for sacrifices to take place in the temple on Temple Mount? Is there really a rapture followed by 7 years of tribulation? What is the New Testament temple? Can we identify history and prophecy? Who is the first beast in Revelation chapter 13? Who are the 7 kings in Revelation 17? I have asked all these questions, and I have found Nicholas Arthur's new book, When the Third Temple is Built, answers all these questions and more using Scripture to interpret Scripture. The Bible says that no prophecy of Scripture is of any private interpretation. Nicholas shows us in his new book, When the Third Temple is Built, how the Bible interprets prophecy and not man's private interpretation. Visit crosstheborder.org, C-R-O-S-S, crosstheborder.org to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org.
Welcome back. Well, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find that clip on gun control from Robert Kennedy, but I'm sure it's out there in the universe somewhere if you want to find out where he stands on gun control. It probably should be an easy thing to find. Let's see. See. Kennedy on gun control. Okay, let's see what he says. Let's see. Oh, argues gun control cannot be meaningfully. Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Let's try this one. This is from The Hill, 1 minute and 30 seconds. Let me turn on this and see what it says. We wait for it. Cannot meaningfully read. Oh. Okay, well, they've got a 4-second advertisement.
Use the federal resources to slow and or end the epidemic of gun violence in America?
Yeah, thank you for that question. For me, it's a very tough question. And I lost my father to gun violence. I lost my uncle to gun violence, and many friends. And so I'm aware and sensitive to the injury that can cause to generational injury that occurs from guns. We have a gun problem in this country. We have a Supreme Court now that has given a very expansive view of the Second Amendment. And I believe in the Constitution, including the Second Amendment. And practically, I do not believe that there is within that Second Amendment that there's anything that we can meaningfully do to reduce the trade and the ownership of guns. And I'm not going to take people's guns away. And because telling the people that I'm going to take their guns away is not practical. It's not. Anybody who tells you that they're going to be able to reduce gun violence through gun control at this point, I don't think is being realistic. And I think we have to figure out other ways to do that. I think we have to figure out other ways to reduce that violence.
If a natural disaster shows up at your doorstep, you can't...
Okay, well, let's see. Oh, goodness. What on earth? Okay, well, they came up with... They did not go into it because the clip I put up, he went into it and he started blaming the what do you call those SRI drugs? Is that what they are? SRIs? And he says that he would look into the problem with SRIs because how they're connected with all the mass gun shootings that people are so worried about. And the mental health problem there. So that's what he would be looking into. But this being The Hill, I guess they're not going to allow him to go that far. But I'm surprised they put that much on The Hill. I guess I'd have to go to a more, let's see, a more pro-Second Amendment to hear what he actually said. Gun control, archives, RFK. Let's see, argues gun control cannot meaningfully reduce gun violence. The Hill. There's a bunch of old speeches there, but I'm looking for what he says. I wish I could find the one that I put up, but unlikely you would get that from a Yeah. We don't need more gun control. We need, yeah. So anyway, it's out there, and I'll see if I can find that for maybe my next broadcast. So, because I know I have it somewhere on my computer, because I did make a short clip of it and posted it on but I couldn't find it on my YouTube page. I don't know whether they took it off or whether I'm just not good at finding stuff. So anyway, that's that. But he said enough there. A rab got rumple. Well, I don't know what that is. Here's a link to the timeline. Oh, okay, the timeline for the. Okay, well, let me check it out. I got a link here. Let's see, I should copy it first. Whoops, it's opening up something. Oh, I see what you got going here. Okay, I have to get that in my other browser. Copy. Let's see, I'll put it in here and see what we got. Paste and go. That way everybody can see it, what we're looking at here. When will Christ return? Anno Mundi, the year of the Lord, the year of the world, or the year of the earth. 6,000. That's about 4 years from now, from the first edition of the 1560 Geneva Bible, it says. And I wish I could, oh, there it is. If I click on it, it goes up. And let's see, there's 2 pages here. Okay, well, this is Old English. Let's see. From the year of the first age, from Adam to Noah, 1656 years. Okay, see, and this, I don't think if I saw this one or not. From Abraham to, so going through the genealogies here, that shouldn't be much different than what I found in the genealogies. It's Deborah, 40 years, Abimelech, 40 years, Isaac, okay, Manassas, okay, and here beginneth the capture of the capture of Babylon, the carrying away, and from the years there are 409 years. Yeah, this Old English is difficult to read, but I can read it. I just have to take the time to read it. From the redefying to the unto the coming of Christ are 489 years after his Sapu. Yeah, it is mentioned that the Daniel 9 that Jerusalem, again, that from that to the time of the coming of Christ are 67 weeks, and it's supposed to be 69 weeks. Oh, so they do use. Well, I'll have to check this out because I don't think I've seen this before. So, but it's kind of hard to read, so it's going to take me some time to decipher it. And then the whole sum and number of years from the beginning of the world unto this present year of our Lord, 1560, are 5334.6 and 6 months unto the said, yes, it's hard to read, very difficult to read that, but like I said, I'll definitely check it out now that I have this here, and I'll try to figure out what it's saying. But I think I have looked at this before, but I found that the difference between what I came up with and what they came up with somewhere. But I will check it out and I'll let you know about that maybe tomorrow. That should be interesting. But in case anyone's interested in what we're talking about here, is I have a post on my website, and if I go to my home page, and that is nicholasarthur.wordpress.com or crosstheborder.org. Either way will get you there. And you'll see at the top, in the top right-hand corner, it says, what year is it? So if you click on that post, what year is it? And I go through the Bible and count the years that are given in the Old Testament to Christ, his first coming. And we can do that. So what I have to find out is what's the difference. And there's not really, I mean, if they say 25, the year 2025 or 2026, well, we're like 30 years apart. So why are we 30 years apart? Because I say 2055, and according to WW, the Geneva Bible says 2025 about. Okay? That's only 30 years apart. So I have to figure out why we're 30 years apart. And I think I might have an answer for you on that. I might have given you an answer before and just forgot about it, because I think I have gone through this before, but I don't remember it that well. So I'll see what the difference is and get back to you, because I'm almost running out of time, and it's going to take more time than I have on this broadcast to do that, and probably not entertaining enough to continue to do it on the air. It wouldn't be fair to the people that are listening. But anyway, there it is. Check it out. It starts with a summary chart. But let's see if anyone wants to talk to me. Your name and where you're calling from? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yes. Okay. Keep doing that. So anyway, there it is. It's what year is it? And it takes you through the Bible, gets you all the way to, and I think the difference is the 30 years difference. I think you're going to find it in the time period between the Babylonian desolation. There were 70 years, okay? And then between that 70 years and the going forth of the command to rebuild and restore and rebuild Jerusalem, there was 58 years there that I came up with. But say that's the area where it's a little bit fuzzy, because we have no sure calendar for that area. All we have is the numbers of the years of the rules of the king, of the rulers that were that were kings at that time. So it's not pinned down, because there was no BC calendar before 500 AD. So anything BC, so it's a little wishy-washy in that area. So I'm saying, I think I've got it pretty close, but we'll see. I'll see what the difference is there and see if I can explain why there is a 30-year difference. So give me some homework to do. Thanks for that, WW. But I think I did this before, and I think the reason is in there somewhere in that area, because that's the only place where it's not, you can't pin it down. That 58 years in there, maybe, and he's saying, well, maybe it wasn't 58, maybe it was only 28 years. But we'll see. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong and you're right, WW. Because this could all be done next year or 20 or the next couple of years. And I would be very happy about that. Seriously, I would be seriously happy if you were right. I hope that WW is right. I have to admit. But I have to go on the findings, on the truth that I found. And that's why I've gone with what I've gone with. Even though I would prefer if you were right. Yeah. So, where 67 should be 68. Yeah, I have no idea. Or 69. I have no idea. what you're talking about there. But guess we'll have this conversation on another night, because I'll find some time here to check into that. It's not going to be tonight. It's way too late. Anyway, let's see what else we've got for the next little bit here, and we'll save that for later. But anyway, do check that out. Go to my website there if you haven't seen that yet, that post yet. What year is it? And then you can check out. And I'll post this. Post that link. I'll post that link in the. Let me do that now, since I have the link in my. I'm going to post it down here in the comments. Okay, comments. We have a lot of comments, but I don't think this link that you just gave me is posted there. So I think I have to go all the way to the bottom of this thing to post this link, because there are a lot of comments. I see how many comments are on this post. A very popular post here with a lot of comments. So I'm going to write this in control. So I'm posting the comment where that is there, so I won't lose it, because I don't think anyone posted it before. So anyway, let's see. Got a lot of shares on that one. How many comments on that? Let's see, 120 comments on that posting, on that what year is it post. So very popular, and 120 comments are very educational too, because I got corrected, got a lot of corrections, got a lot of challenges, and I had to make some corrections. But by 2013, right there's the date, I think I was done making any corrections by 2018, minor corrections. But 2013, since then I haven't made any major corrections to the what year is it chronology that's in that post. So I made some corrections not as to the chronology itself, but as for the post itself, some typos and other things that were wrong. But if I could correct it 30 years, I will gladly do it, and maybe I will be able to. Maybe I'll see something I missed before, hopefully, because like I said, I hope that you're right, WW, and and if I find that you're not, that they got it wrong, I'll tell you where the difference is, and why I have the difference there. But like I said, I would love to be corrected and actually learn that Christ is coming sooner than I think. Because I certainly didn't do it for convenience or wishful thinking. I searching for the truth, and that's why I came up with about 2055. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking at. And first I have to live that long. So got to go to 2055. So I got to be 102 when the seventh millennium begins. I'll just put it that way. And let me make sure here I've got this off. So we'll do that. Let's see what else we got for the last few minutes here. The Twilight. Oh, I read that article. I reread that article. I found it a great article at LouRockwell.com. The Twilight of the Anti-Federalists article. But there was another article I was going to look at. Let's see. I guess I didn't post it up there. Let's see. It must be here somewhere. A lecture on state militias and the Second Amendment. So we did talk about that a little bit over the last few days, but I found an article on it, and maybe I'll save that for the next broadcast. And seeing there were a few good articles here. Lecture on, let's see, time to stop worrying about allegedly. Biden's Hail Mary budget is just another anchor baby. Yes. Hail Mary budget. Yes. Doing away with the Second Amendment and continuing to fly aliens in from their own countries. Imagine that. Who would have ever thought something like that could happen? See, Spanish newspaper claims NATO troops are active in Ukraine. Putin agrees on hamstringing the government. And goodbye, Google. Yeah, everyone should say goodbye, Google, as much as they can. So. And who is worried about it? Anyway, we don't really have time for a long article. So, and I think that's about all I've got for tonight. Is let me see what else is in my mailbox here. Anything? Let's see. Scriptures on the wall. Okay, that's not new. Tucker Carlson. Oh, the scariest criminal case you've probably never heard of. Yeah, I did watch that on X or on one of Tucker Carlson's channels. I think he's on Rumble too. So that was interesting. What they did to this guy, because just to shut him up, what Joe Biden's administration did to this guy, because he was just simply exercising free speech. So Joe Biden is doing his best to kill free speech in America. So, or misinformation. So, yes, what they'll do to you for misinformation in America. What else do we have? Hey, look, live on your channel, Nick at Night. And, see, shocking, the border. Oh, yeah, this is it here. The U.S. border invasion explained under 2 minutes. Okay, we have 2 minutes. So why don't we do that? Let's check it out. It's going to be explained in under 2 minutes.
All right, let's talk about what just came down from the Supreme Court, because they will not be blocking Texas from arresting or deporting illegal immigrants. This just this afternoon from the Supreme Court. Now, this is not a final decision. So this is they're just refusing right now to block Texas from implementing its own criminal law, which lets them arrest illegal immigrants. Imagine that the Biden administration wanted to stop Texas from even doing that. So Texas wants to enforce its own criminal law, rejecting this emergency appeal from the Biden administration, which argued that states can't interfere with federal authority over the border. So the Biden administration is saying, we have authority over the border. You can't arrest people.
And Texas last year had passed Senate Bill 4, which makes it a crime to cross the border outside of ports of entry, punishable by up to 6 months in prison, and repeated offenders could get up to 20 years in prison. The Biden administration took them to court and said, you can't actually do that. Can you imagine? They're using your taxpayer dollars to stop Texas from securing the border. Talk about reverse priorities. And it's our taxpayer dollars that are being used in court to fight Texas from doing that.
So now this will give them the ability, and these Border Patrol agents, the ability to be able to do this, for ICE to be able to do this, for state troopers, the Texas Rangers to be able to do this, to be able to arrest these individuals for crossing the border. It becomes an illegal zone. Now, will they do it? Do they have the manpower to do it? We'll see. But that's good news. We'll see how far this goes and when we have to get a final decision on that. But they're not blocking it right now, which is great news for allowing states' rights to defend their own borders. Wonder if other states will now come forward with this as well. Meanwhile, filmmaker Western Linesman has done an amazing job. This has gone viral. I want to play this. I'm curious how many of you have already seen this, but this has gone viral overnight. And it's a filmmaker who put this together. It's an amazing job. And I want you to say something. We'll come out and we're going to talk about all of the pieces of this. But I want you to watch this and see if anything that he's saying in this 2-minute video is incorrect or wrong about the illegal alien invasion in the United States right now. Watch it. See if you can find anything that's inaccurate. I know the left-wing media is going to definitely try to portray this as
single-party rule explained in under 2 minutes. 1. Flood the country with untold millions of illegals by land, sea, and air from all over the world. enough to eclipse the populations of 36 individual U.S. states so far. 2. Prioritize the needs of these millions of non-citizens over the needs of the American citizen, with free flights, buses, hotels, meals, and phones, ensuring their loyalty to the political party that imported them. 3. Keep them in the country at all costs, even when they commit violent crime like murder and rape. Attack the language used to describe the criminals, as opposed to the criminals themselves. Slander critics as racist. 4. Ensure their privileges are made irrevocable with city and state sanctuary.
And, well, that's all the time I have, so I thought it was going to be just 2 minutes. But anyway, it's out there. You can find it. May the Almighty bless you and keep you as you travel on a narrow way that leads to life. I'll see you next time.
Possible to prove voter fraud. 7. Lock in the permanent voting majority with campaign promises of lavish benefits and permanent privileges, enshrining generational fealty to the Democrat Party. 8. Win elections. 9. Entrenched
Secrets of the Rapture. Is there a 500-year-old conspiracy? A propaganda machine so pervasive and entrenched, yet so elusive that the entire world could be taken in by it, working in plain sight, but unseen by the world for what it truly is? If prophecy is God-given history in advance, why does the prophecy that has conquered the age also exclude nearly 2,000 years of history? What is it that they are afraid that the light of history will reveal? To understand our place in time and prophecy, we must look in history for an interpretation, that which stands the test of time, that which agrees with the Word of God, and history has proven to be true. When cunning fables and fearful speculations are removed from our sight, then we may clearly see what is truly expressed in Bible prophecy, both that which has been fulfilled and that which has yet to come. God's express word is the sword that must be wielded to remove the scales from the eyes and dispel the darkness of deceitful conjecture. Secrets of the Rapture was written to expose that which the spirit of the age has conjured out of the darkness to blind the eyes of the church in the world today. Secrets of the Rapture.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. A large mob of hundreds of illegal aliens burst through razor wire and surged toward the border wall in El Paso, Texas on Thursday in a chaotic scene during which guards were knocked over just as the state's anti-illegal immigration
Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Tel Aviv. He said he told the visiting Blinken that a ground offensive is the only way to destroy Hamas. See more at AFN.net. The former RNC chair, Ronna McDaniel, has a new job. She's joining NBC and will appear on programs such as Meet the Press. Tim Graham of Newsbusters.
The liberals are so upset that you would hire a Republican. Now, the real complaint is it was Trump's RNC chair. She's an election denier. I think we all know if, like, Jamie Raskin left Congress and decided to be an NBC pundit, nobody would say he's an election denier, even though he was.
She will also make appearances on MSNBC. A new report claims Google has been interfering with U.S. elections. The allegation comes from the Media Research Center, which says it's been happening